Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Mike Haspel. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, what's up?
Hey, what's happening?
Haspel, I heard a rumor that J.J. Abrams was going to direct Star Wars Episode 9. Would you care to comment?
That is not a rumor.
That's not the rumor I heard. I heard he was coming to your birthday party.
Yeah, not a rumor anymore, regrettably, for those of us who do not enjoy Mr. Abrams' style of storytelling. That has been confirmed as fact. He is not only slated to direct, but also to write. So all of us that were expecting some kind of closure in the third Star Wars trilogy, we're just going to get a mystery box full of nonsense. So for me, that sticks a fork in the Star Wars saga. I will always have the originals, but I'm kind of out. I'm done.
So thanks for the memories.
Yeah, I'm just like, there's kind of no point. I was actually looking forward to episode 8, but there's kind of no point in seeing it. So, and it's a shame, but I'm like, it's gone for me. I saw Star Trek 2009, never saw another one. I was out. I was done. The jury is still out. If I'm going to watch the new Discovery, I think I'm going to give it a shot. Give them a chance and see what goes on. But because CBS stuck it behind their paywall, I don't think it's gonna do very well, especially when the rest of the world gets it on Netflix.
Salt Wars. I love it.
Salt Wars, bro. Salt Wars.
Wait, so the new Star Trek is not even going to be on TV? You got to like have a whatever?
I think the first episode is going to air on television, or they're going to give you a free stream or something. And then you have to have, I think it's called CBS All Access or something like that, which is a streaming service, kind of like Hulu.
Can I take a moment to talk about how disappointed I am with the state of my TV viewing experience lately? I was one of those guys used to, like, I haven't had cable for a long time because, like, as soon as Netflix digital was a thing, I had it. As soon as Hulu was a thing, I had it. As soon as Amazon was a thing, I'm talking like 8 years. Like, I have literally, like, that's been my life. And I thought, I was like, this is so fucking awesome, man. Like, HBO Now, then HBO Go, all that shit. Like, literally, I was like, this is so dope. And now here I am. They're jacking on my rates up. They're saying, if you want this new stuff, like, you got to give me this new money. Okay, I'll give you a couple extra bucks. Then now I'm watching I literally watched Rick and Morty the other day on Hulu because I bought the next deal, like the next level up in Hulu. And like, I literally watched like 9 commercials in a row in between the commercial break.
Right. You're paying for it and they're still airing ads.
Like, so, and I was like, so what happened was, like, cable got nervous when all this subscription stuff came out. They were like, because the concept of, like, scheduling my time around somebody else's show is insane. Then they came out with TiVo and they're like, oh, but look at this cool thing you can lease from us. And I was like, nah, fuck that. I'll just pay money to watch what I want when I want. It's insane. It's archaic. And now here we are. Cable figured out how to do it, how to license it, how to get their IPs back. And I'm right back to a curated viewing experience that is insanely frustrating. That is my soapbox rant. I was so mad this week. I was just like, literally, I looked at my bills and I was like, I'm paying even more money than I was paying when I had, like, DirecTV with all the channels.
Yeah. And so the sad thing is that I actually buy whole seasons of shows just so that I know that I'm supporting the show I want to support and not like Honey Boo Boo or whatever garbage they fill most of the airways with. So, like, for all of Justified, I actually bought every season of Justified and watched them. And I would do the same thing for the Star Trek. So if they release some kind of package where you can buy the entire season, I do the same thing for Doctor Who and everything. So it's like, and Rick and Morty and Archer. But if they offer some kind of incentive where I can just buy the whole season and not have to sign up for their crappy little streaming program, then that's what I'll do, because I want to support Star Trek. I want Star Trek to be good. I'm like a die-hard fan. And unfortunately,
I want movie makers to keep making dope movies and content creators.
Yeah.
Content,
And unfortunately, Star Trek, and I hate to admit this, but Star Trek hasn't been good for a long, long time. and I'm hoping that this Discovery thing is gonna do this. But what I suspect is going to happen, and I'm not hoping for this, I'm just suspecting what's going to happen by releasing this thing on Netflix everywhere else and putting it behind a CBS paywall. That's a different one additional service here. I think this new Star Trek is gonna knock Game of Thrones off the most pirated show throne. I think right now Game of Thrones is the most pirated show around. I think this new Star Trek is going to beat it. Yeah. If it's any good. If it's not, then it's going to die an ignominious death.
Yeah.
And
like, which is unfortunate. And if you guys want to hear more about our opinions and thoughts, there's a solid 25-minute discussion on the webcast, which is going to be on our paywall, the Longboard.
Because we're nothing if not hypocritical.
But the cool thing about supporting us through our paywall is you're actually supporting us, not some corporation.
Not half the money too. You're half the money too.
And thus ends the saltiest place on earth is the Dead Sea next to our bitch asses segment of this podcast. Rob, Tabletop Marketplace, please.
So this week we've got lots of cool products coming out. Of course, a little bit of salt, just a pinch of salt. The Death Shroud will be going up on pre-order this weekend. If you're a gotta catch them all Death Guard fan, they are $60 US for 3 models. That's all I have to say about it. The internet has said enough at this point, I feel like. Also coming out is the Adeptus Mechanicus, brand new Baller Sirius cowl, $55 US. And remember, he originally came out in the Triumvirate with Celestine and who's the other one in there? It was Celestine and what's her face? Horse Lady.
Lady?
Inquisitor. Great facts.
You Shadowfax. I'm like, Horse Lady. You're trying to say Shadowfax, aren't you? I'm like,
oh my god! But what was funny is that he's like this other lady, whatever, and I'm like, who is he talking about? Then he's like Horse Lady. I'm like, Great facts. Like immediately.
So I mean, it's interesting price points there because $55 for Baller Sirius and that's an $80 box. I feel like you should just get the Triumvirate for $35 more. You get Celestine and Horse Lady, so why not, right?
But then again, I just want to. This is normally not the segment we do this in, but there's a great comment in there by War Magic. Death Shroud are 100% worth it if you and your 2 friends want to kit bash some Typhus models. Lol. Yeah, that's a great idea. You and your 2 buddies should get together, throw $20 in the pot each, buy them Death Shrouds. You have 3 Typhuses. Love it.
Man, there you go. So that's coming out this week. The Adeptus Mechanicus Codex, of course, $40 US. The data cards, $15 US. 2 audiobooks, The Emperor's Legion, Eye of Night. And if you're into collector's edition, the AdMech, of course, will be.
You're speaking Haspel's language. Collector's editions, Haspel?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
$80 regardless, web exclusive there. And then, of course, Return of the Mac himself. He never really left us. He was always in our hearts.
Don't call it a comeback.
Mortarion
makes been here for years.
Oh yeah, makes his $140 appearance this weekend live on store shelves. It seems like most stores are getting at least 8 from the ones I talked to. So I don't know if that's gonna be enough.
I'm gonna need all 8 of those.
He seems to be very popular.
I'll take 7 and I'll leave 1 on the shelf.
There you go. The Death Guard dice are coming out. There are no AdMech dice, but there's Death Guard dice coming out this week. Seems to be an internet hit right off the bat. Everybody seems to like the styling of them. The container has that cool little like slime graphic on it. They are kind of a little bit different material, not a conventional dice as you would imagine the injected whatever resin stuff. It's generally with GW stuff, they do have good quality resin. There isn't a lot of air bubbles or anything in there. You get a good solid roll, a good solid like feel to them. These are a little bit different. They're actually literally squishy on the inside. They have little squishy kind of pus effect contained with a plastic kind of
I'm
Lego.
Looking at them right now. These are fucking amazing.
They are pretty sweet.
Oh my god! I'm not gonna say. I'm not even here about dice and people saying they're not weighted right. I don't give a fuck. These dice are sick. Obviously, they're weighted horribly. They're fucking a capsule. So what you have is you have like essentially like a squishy mold,
Like a foam,
like a squishy gack like looking texture here, and it has all the bubbles and pustules to represent the pips, and then it's encased in a box that now makes it a dice. Like these are guaranteed, not even remotely casino quality fucking rolling. But holy shit, I had no idea what you're talking about. I just went on the web store. I am adding these motherfuckers to cart right now.
They are probably going to be an instant hit, and it's cool to see GW is pushing the envelope. You know, first we were like, "Yo, put the symbols on the 6s," and now we're like, "We don't even need symbols. You're doing good." You know, you got these cool ideas here, which I think is pretty neat. You know, when it comes to pushing the envelope on the products, they're always one thing's for sure: GW is never stagnating. Like, judging from the look of Mortarion, the interchangeability on it, I can't wait to get in my hot little hands and see if, you know, they compare it to Magnus, you know, see if the design is holding true. We already know there's a couple of interchangeable parts with the arms, you know, in different positions. Like, how did they do that? Are there extra, you know, bits in the kit? Do they design it to where the armor plates like kind of mirror the mold lines? Like, you know, how much thought went into this model? Like, that's me as like a design guy, like what I really want to see. We all know the model looks dope. Like, I don't think anybody can dispute that, but, you know, actually getting in your hot little hands and looking at all the details. Like, I never even noticed there's little Nurglings. You know, there's like 5 little Nurglings like dancing around on the bottom of the base.
Yeah, I feel like that was super easy to see for most people who don't wear glasses. But yes, continue.
I've recently started wearing reading glasses when I paint because my eyes are old.
I am not starving. I would like you to make a I'd like to give you what roughly $2,000 investment did you make in your eyes over the last 5 years?
So, funny story. I recently got laser eyes within the last 5 years. And while I was getting this done, and don't get me wrong, like I see better when I'm not trying to look at tiny things right in front of my face. I still see better. But as you might know, not as an old person, but Haspel's an old person. He probably knows. You know, when I was getting the surgery and stuff, they're like, yeah, and your eyes are going to be great. You're not going to need, you know, glasses until you're like, you know, in your 40s. And
they looked and you were like, I'm 40.
And then later, yeah, like, and then he looks at the chart. He's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're going to need glasses like tomorrow.
Yeah. And that's exactly how it went down.
I recently had to get progressive lenses because of that. But what was funny is my eye doctor, she always uses like somebody who paints miniatures as an example of why you would want like progressive lenses, but she never had actually met a miniatures painter until I told her. I'm like, yeah, when I'm painting miniatures, I used to be able to see a lot of detail and I can't. She's like, you're kidding me that you actually paint miniatures.
She's like, I have literally been waiting 6 years for this conversation.
And then she was just like, put these glasses on. Now look at this. And then she hit me with the progressives and I was like, whoa, like I can see I'm a Nexus 6 again.
She's probably like, I've only seen people like this in that movie, A 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Not to go off on an eyesight tangent, but like over the last few weeks, it's weird. Like I've been suddenly feeling like my eyes have not been like just overnight. Like my eyes are not quite as good as they used to be. I'm like, been really resistant to the concept of it, but I'm like, damn, I feel like I might need fucking glasses. You think I should get contacts or say glasses?
So here's the problem that I ran into with contacts. You know, I wore contacts for a number of years. I would probably say 10 years of modeling and hobbying for sure. You're going to get crap on your hands. And also I got one time, because you know how I always do those like hot wing challenges.
How you always get pink eye 3 times a year?
Oh, no, that was mostly I think the cat's part of my pillow.
Just threw him under the bus. Yeah, that's exactly how come my parents have never gotten pink eye. But yeah, cool.
Well, we have an interesting relationship, me and the cats. And so I would do these hot wing eating contests, and you know, because you get a T-shirt in America, right? But the problem was that I would always forget I would wash my hands off, but there's like residuals on your hands. And then like I would go to take my contacts out at night, and then all of a sudden I would hot wing my eyeballs, and that was a problem. I needed to like write a post-it on my mirror. Hey, stupid, wear gloves or something. But yeah, you're not going to want to put those, like when you get glue residue and paint residue and all that crap, you're going to get like the little microscopic piece of crud. Imagine that piece of crud that clogs the inside of your airbrush. That is now going to be in your eye when you're trying to like do stuff.
Got it. Contacts. Don't do it.
They're the worst. Literally.
Unless I get sick ass contacts that make me look Nurgle. Yellow, I'm thinking.
Is that like for a video or like, are you?
That's just my day-to-day reading contacts.
I mean, sure. Yeah, do it.
I don't see a problem with this.
Perfectly normal. You could get cat's eyes ones. It'd be cool.
No, that's ridiculous. Of course you're going to go cat's eye. Fucking weirdo.
I mean, that's more of a normal type thing that I can get behind. Perfectly normal.
Word, got it. Yeah, derailed. Old people talk.
That's right.
Old people cat talk.
I'm not even that old. I'm like the youngest dude in this fucking podcast by 10 years at least.
By a lot.
Yeah.
The youngest looking oldest dude in the podcast.
Yeah, god damn it.
I won't say exactly how old I am. I'm just saying Harrison Ford is probably going to kill me.
Yep. So Tabletop Marketplace, I feel like we got more.
Yeah, there is. Actually, I don't want to cut off Rob, but I can hit
too late. He talked about getting farted on by cats. He's in timeout.
No, in the pillow. They didn't fart on me. What do you think? I'm a crazy person?
All right. So there is a Humble Bundle. If you guys don't know about these things, it's you go on to their site and you can pay what you want, and a portion of the proceeds go to charity. There is a Humble Bundle for Warhammer RPG gamers out there, and it's actually valid for the next 13 days. So if you hear this podcast within the next 13 days, and you just go on Humble Bundle and look up Warhammer, I think it's under books under Warhammer RPG. Look that up. It'll come up, and they have quite a lot of stuff. I don't even play the Warhammer RPG, but I collect RPGs because you just never know what kind of game mechanics are going to be in there that you can steal for storytelling. If you pledge $1 or more, you get the Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing 2nd Edition Core Rulebook and 3 different adventures. If you pledge $8 or more, you also unlock 5 more adventures. If you pay 15 more, you unlock an additional, looks like 10 adventures and some of the source books. The Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing Companion, Children of the Horned Rat, Lure of the Lich Lord, stuff like that. And then if you pay $20, you get the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 1st Edition rulebook in digital. All these are digital, of course. And another, looks like 6 other adventures or source books, like the Career Compendium and the Game Master's Pack. So I feel like for $20, that's more role-playing than most of us get to do anymore. And I think it's a really good deal. So I just wanted to pass that on to people because I'm totally going to get it.
So if it's September 26th, it might be too late for you if you're listening to this podcast. But you have about up until the end to at least drop $1.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. Now, Rob, is that a timeout? Anything else?
My cats don't poop on me.
I know they don't. I'm saying you poop on your hands and you're fucking have bad hygiene and you gave yourself pink eye. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't believe this cat situation.
Also still not a real thing. Now, if you want to talk street meat, we can talk a lot. No. So Death Guard Codex this weekend, whatever. $40. I think we all know that's happening. Data cards, web exclusive Plague Brethren, collector's edition, and limited edition of the Death Guard. Death Guard seem to be getting a lot of love as opposed to those war robots coming out next week, unfortunately.
Well, Nurgle is a crowd favorite, straight up. Like, somebody says the dawn of time, bro. Like, it's definitely a crowd favorite. It's a pleaser. It's been a long time coming. Like, remember all the rumors, all the wish listing since the dawn. Even Haspel, man, he's not a chaos dude, but he's been Like, how long have we been wishlisting that? Like, we would just get like, hey, we're gonna get a Death Guard book, we're gonna get a World Eater book, we're gonna get like that has been like something we've been talking about forever, man. And like, but yo, we got a Death Guard book, man, and we're gonna get a Thousand Suns book. What I love about this is that they're saying that these two have deviated far enough from Chaos that they get their own books. Where the rest of Chaos, it's like, yo, I'm playing Alpha Legions. It could be Slaanesh Alpha Legion. It could be Alpha Legion Noise Marines, Alpha Legion Berserkers. It could be Iron Warrior Berserkers. It is so much more fluffy than it used to be. And also, like, this is the game design I've been talking about. Like, back in the day, I'm going to pay 5 points for a Mark on Nurgle +1 toughness. I'm going to pay 1 point for this fucking +1 initiative. Why the fuck ever would an Obliterator ever, like a Cult Obliterator of the Iron Warriors, why would he ever be tempted? Like, why would he ever be Slaanesh? So you're saying it functionally that doesn't exist, right? So somebody who was like, I love Emperor's Children, but I want Obliterators. But I mean, like, damn, it's just not thematic. It's not fluffy because it's initiative. Like, that's some bullshit, bro. All Chaos works together, man. Like, we have infighting just like Space Marines do, but like, yo, this is the stories we've built our foundation of this hobby on. Through game design, they're saying you have a key word that's a legion, and these are your available special rules. Your Chaos, which means these are also your available special rules. And also you get a mark for free, and these are your available special rules, usually in the form of stratagems, which you have to pay command points to utilize, which gives you temporary buffs that are not infinite. Now you're saying, I literally have reason to have Slaanesh this, Khorne that, Nurgle this, and Tzeentch that. It's fucking amazing. But Thousand Suns and Death Guard are so different. They have their own structure. They have their own thing. And I love that, man. I'm super stoked to see what the 1000 Suns book does. If it's anything like the Death Guard book, yo, Chaos is back. Everyone's like, yo, it's not 3.5 back. Are you fucking serious? Did you see the results at Nova? There's a lot of fucking Chaos busting a lot of heads.
Yeah, straight up like Berserkers. Like, when was the last time we saw Berserkers?
Like Berserkers.
And a
Noise Marine
at the top tables.
Noise Marines, bro. Like a block or 20 Noise Marines ain't nothing to fuck with, man. And even like a single unit of Obliterator. Like, so much Chaos love right now. I'm talking like, yo, I think it's better than 3.5. Like, like 3.5, you were like, oh, I got this Demon Prince that can maybe charge you in turn 1 because sometimes it can infiltrate, or I've got extra Obliterators because I'm Iron Warriors, or I can summon these demons and charge you after I summon them. Yeah, okay, that's cute. I can charge you 4 times on turn 1. I can shoot you 1 billion times. I can do this. I can do that. Like, yo, this is way more dynamic and beyond 3.5. The difference is that everything else is scaling. Love it. Death Guard for the win.
And I think we're going to definitely talk about some more Berserker love that we can do with Berserkers after, I don't know, next. Top 5, Forge World. Banned, not banned.
Okay, so you said there was an interesting article by Mismatch Play, which is Max Dubois, a good friend of ours. That's his and his compadres. I don't know, is that even right for Canadians?
He's a poutine eater, but that's okay because poutine is really good.
He's a French. Is that a French Canadian thing or just a regular Canadian?
I think it's a regular Canadian thing.
I think it's a regular Canadian thing. It's really good. If you've never had poutine, you got to have.
I hear all the
crazy.
I mean, he's one of them Frenchies though. Them French, this Quebecians.
Quebec.
Quebecians.
So,
but anyway, he's a PBR drinking, not that polite French Canadian dude.
I think he's polite for being Quebec though.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's really nice. We love the guy. Just give a shit, but he has got a new site. I think it's Mismatch Play. It's their Facebook group. I think they have they're doing articles on a blog. They're writing, putting articles out on Spiky Bits. And I think they're working on a podcast, if not already.
I think it's definitely in the works. I'm not sure if they put the first one out yet or not.
Yeah. And so he did put out an article for you. And what was the title? Top 5 Forge World at Nova, or?
Well, the title of the article, top 5 Forge World units that should be banned, but I take a little liberty with the titles. It was just about some ITC has policies. Nova had a policy. Nova was kind of wide open, so it's more just like power level kind of, hey, are these good? You be the judge. Like, are they too good? Whatever was pretty much the gist of the article, and then he gets into like breaking down like what the different formats have to do with them.
But he was eyes on the ground. He came out here from Canada to go to Nova to take a look at some of the competitive armies that were shaken down in that format. and he made some pretty solid investigative observations.
Yep.
Like, he isn't just talking out of his ass.
No. I mean, he's definitely got his finger on the pulse of the meta and the top players, and he puts out way what we put on Spiky Bits of his is more of a like kind of a introductory, but if you really crave that inside baseball kind of like competitive, like breakdown, like list, like straight up why you would take this choice over this choice, like Mismatch Play is the place to go for sure, because you're going to get that level of engagement from every major event he goes to, and he goes to the majority of them. So if that's your thing, that's definitely where you want to go. But this is more far reaching. So
where do you want to go?
Mismatchplay.com.
Mismatchplay.com. That is
.com.
Max Sabot, I'll say nothing for you.
I've never done anything for Max Sabot.
So give us that top 5.
Number 5, the Charybdis Claw. Kenny, tell us why it's good.
I don't fucking know. I imagine it's because you can land and do fun things and put World Eater guys and Alpha Legion Charybdises. That's what I've seen happen, at least.
I see what you did there. Yeah. So Berserkers, definitely a party favorite. I mean, you could theoretically put 20 of whatever cast. The key is it's 20.
It's 20. You can put a full-blown squad of Berserkers in one of these things, which is huge and strong. The reason is that like Berserkers are a crowd favorite because Berserkers have this special rule. They get to fight twice, which is very Berserker. That makes Berserker strong again. But there's also a command point that lets you fight a third time, right? So Berserkers, if spread out, hit the bubble wraps in multiple layers, they can potentially just literally, I mean, with the Coordinate Chain Actions hitting on 3s, potentially rerolling 1s because of the Lord, wounding on 2s because you can also play the Veteran of the Long War command point, which is +1 to your wound roll. And a lot of people, like, they don't do their, like, they'll put their bubble wraps out there, right? So imagine if you had like 30 conscripts, Mike, and then you had 30 behind it. Well, a lot of people, what they do is they spread out the 2-inch coherency, right? And then try to make their bubble wrap as big as possible. So what you can do is you can get right up on that bubble wrap and you say, I'm going to multi-charge. Oh, yeah, who are you going to charge? I'm going to charge these guys in the bubble wrap behind it. Well, how? Well, like you're spread out 2 inches and I'm on a 32 millimeter base and I can pass in with an inch of models. We're doing a multi-charge. Like literally it's the only time I can come with an inch of models. So if you don't do your bubble wraps right, you can literally go through bubble wraps and engage the first 2 layers, hit both bubble wraps. And if Berserkers are able to lock that tactic in, they can fight. You'll lose a lot of dudes, but since they're engaging 2 units and pylons are a thing, you're not going to be able to like casually jank them out of the next fight. Because that's the problem. Though, is like they fight, you lose all your casualties. They fight, they lose the casualties. You might not have anybody in range to use the command point to fight again, right? Because you can only fight within 1 inch of a guy who's based. So if you can spread out right and you can hit the bubble wrap correctly, you can fight 3 times. You can kill like 80, 90 cultists pretty easy, or 90 conscripts pretty easily. So that is a very powerful tool. I watched Nick Navati do that to Ganyo. He killed like 80 conscripts with 1 Berserker unit in turn 1. So that is the Charybdis is pretty fucking strong, as you guys can see, because they're in 20 dudes are protected. Versus 20 dudes have to like use the Alpha Legion keyword command point, be 9 inches away. Don't go second. I went first. You know, like it's more of a sure thing. So there was a lot of Charybdises at Nova. They were doing really well.
It also has a little bit of a Death Blossom too. That every unit within 6 inch, it's got a D6 pistol attack, so it can land, and that's just strength 8 -1 AP, does D3 damage. So it's no cream puff. Catch some characters slipping.
Charybdis can definitely do I mean, that was an amazing vehicle last edition too. It's just not a lot of people played it because Chaos was pretty shitty.
And it's really good in combat too. Strength 16, -5 AP, 2D6 damage, 2D6.
It's a representation of how it used to be able to land on you and do a destroyer weapon hit.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. So yeah, there you go. Not too shabby to say the least. Number 4 is Elysians because of they're 1 more point than a standard Imperial Guardsman, and they can deep strike. Deep striking is potentially on my personal Kenny Boucher list top 3 most powerful abilities in Warhammer 40K right now.
it is the most tactical and strategic way to build your army, because the reason it's both is because obviously you're in your beat slab building your army and you're like, well, I want certain elements that can come in late game. But while you're in the game, you don't just say, I'm gonna start rolling a fucking dice and show up when I might show up. You get to fucking choose when that motherfucker happens based on the ebb and flow of the battle. You don't, there's very few abilities that are that good. And so, you know, Elysians are shitty little guardsmen that they can just say, not now, not now, now. And so now that the fight has gone 3 turns, things are happening, shit's pitting off. They just start showing up in the backfield where they need to be. Maybe you're just too invested in the forward field. You can't do anything about it. Maybe there's just not enough resources left in the army to deal with. It's literally such a ridiculous unit for only 1 more point than a standard guardsman. It has so much use in game. It's insane. Deep striking, I'm telling you guys, one of the fucking strongest things in the game, especially when you give it to, imagine if Chaos Cultists were 1 point more and they could do it. There's a reason why demons don't deep strike anymore. As a rule, they have demonic ritual. It's not the fucking same thing.
Mm-mm.
It's so fucking strong.
Yep, not too shabby. Well, and they have snipers too, so you can set up some sweet snipes. Those are also good.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
that tactical and strategic, man. They can do whatever you need them to do, bro. They're fucking super good.
Number 3 is Decimator Dreadnoughts. Now I knew some of their weapons were pretty good, but I did not realize the links at which some of these competitive players were going with these guys.
They've got Kelsey argues for the not mortal wound weapon. I think they both I think the one that like is go to is the one that does mortal wounds, right?
Yeah, the Petard, I think Pete. I don't know how to say this. Petard. We'll go with Petard. 2d3 24-inch shots. So that's gonna be what, 5 on average. Then instead of doing normal damage, inflict a mortal wound on the hit. Max says rolling the wound is so 7th edition.
Yeah. Yeah, but Kelsey argues for the other weapon.
Let's see what that is. This one completely kind of slipped below my radar.
Like Kelsey likes them both, but he thinks for some, you know, and whenever Kelsey says, I think this is the way to go, it's usually right.
Yeah, he was the one that was on Scatter Spam before.
He was on Scatter Bikes while everyone was still on like Shuriken Catapults.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, Shuriken, it's way fucking better. Get the Rend. And he was like, that's stupid. More shots is better. This is why. And even I was like, you're dumb. And then sure enough, that like the community embraced that and that became bikes. It's still legit bikes.
I've only played Kelsey once. and I swear he had like, I want to say he had like 42 D-Thirsters. Something insane.
But it was like 8.
Yeah, but it was like 8. Well, only because he was nice and said that he wasn't going to summon anymore.
Have you ever watched that amazing documentary with George Foreman about his fight with Muhammad Ali? And he says the best punch in that fight was never thrown, and it was when he was on the ground, he was already beaten, and like Muhammad Ali didn't hit him. Wow. That's basically what Kelsey did for you.
Yep, my Space Wolves just kind of went. How many D-Thirsters? What? I thought he'd stuttered.
He's like, he summoned them all, and he's like, "That's it. I'm not going to summon another unit the rest of the game."
Yeah, so he was being nice, but it's not like I could kill any of them, so it didn't matter.
Let's see. I'm not sure which weapon it is. I feel like it's this one here, the Heavy 4, Strength 8, Neg 1 AP, 2 damage.
What's it called?
Butcher Cannon.
I feel like it was a different name.
C-Beam Cannon.
We'll just have to get Kelsey on the podcast again and have him educate us on what he thinks the proper Decimator list is. But Decimators were in force. My man Alex Fennel, longtime friend, I was giving him shit earlier. He ran like 8 Decimators at Nova for the Open. So Decimators, and they did really well. So that obviously made the list.
Yep, definitely for sure. I think number 2, you can probably guess. There's only 2 left. Which one do you think number 2 is? In terms of
definitely Earthshakers.
No, actually, Earthshakers aren't on here because are they Forge World? I guess they are.
I feel like Earthshakers Forge World.
The platform is, yeah.
The platform, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're actually
That-
not on this.
They didn't make the list. Yeah, that's surprising. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know Super
They're
Chicken.
chaos related.
Oh, obviously, Malefic Lords.
Yep.
This needs
For
to be
sure.
a top. This needs to be a top 6.
You want to do Earthshaker?
Earthshaker is definitely on the list.
All right, let me grab my ProGuard book. I mean, I think we all know what the profile of an Earthshaker cannon is at this point, but
Yeah, the platform was in force for.
what was their call on? Could you use searchlights for the infantry, for the spotters?
I don't know what the final ruling was.
I'm not sure on that either.
I did not have boots on the ground.
There was an argument being made that you could use the searchlights, which now are nerfed. Another part of my master plan for guard success that I can't use anymore. It's only for infantry models now from the Forge World FAQ. But some people were saying that you could use the gunners.
Oh, that's right, because they have one where there's gunners manning it.
Yeah.
That was a Kelsey insight, so I don't know.
Earthshaker battery 15. So number 2 is definitely Malefic Lords. I feel like we talked about them ad nauseum on here. Yes, no?
We did an interview last week with Kelsey because Kelsey ran 13. It was a big part of his success. He ran actually 2 of the things on the list. He ran 13 Malefic Lords, and the genius behind that was they were buried inside of a 20-man pink core unit. And he paid exactly enough points in reserves, reinforcement points for pink cores to split blue and then split to brimstone. So he wasn't like that's so he was paying for those points. So that way, if you wanted to try to get to the Malefic Lords, you had to shoot through 20 dudes who became dudes who became dudes. So it was like 50 dudes.
Just a dude that becomes a dude that becomes another dude.
You beat me to it, Rob.
Yeah.
So the thing there is, you're talking 30 points. They got smite. They have one guy will shoot warp flux. It's just nasty. It's like, like imagine if this unit just takes the center of the table and like anything with an 18-inch of it takes 13 D3 mortal wounds. Like, seems good.
So Earthshaker battery, I'm not sure which particular ability makes it so powerful, but there's a lot. It's range 240.
Well, it's cheap. It's cheap.
It's cheap, yeah. So it's heavy D6. You roll 2 dice, discard the lowest to get the number of shots. Strength 9, AP2, D3 damage. Nothing new there.
It's a cleanup unit. It's so basically with like Harker and other abilities, you're going to get mass shots that don't need line of sight because it's indirect fire.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another big thing. It doesn't need to see its target. So when you build your Astra Militarum box in your corner, one of the big handicaps of any kind of castling is line of sight and mobility. That does not affect Imperial Guard Astra Militarum lists because they're building their list with mortars and Earthshaker batteries where line of sight has been removed from the equation. So thus the castle is strong. The bubble wrap upon bubble wrap is strong. And these are great cleanup units that can just dump. Here's a bunch of damage right here. Here's a bunch of damage right here. We're rolling ones, this and that. It's cheap. Doesn't need a lot of sight. Mortar's cheap. Don't need a lot of sight. That is the tools for success. You might have a few clutch elite elements in your army that can go out and fuck things up. St. Celestine was really popular. Juice used Xiphon fighters. So, I mean, obviously a lot of people using Scions dropping in. So that's a lot of that tech right there. It's literally, I think it should be on the list, but top 6 doesn't sound as good as top 5.
Mm-mm. And number 1 is definitely Alphabet's the Demon. The Slayer of Souls, the Tzeentch Super Greater Demon, 1 of 4. This guy was good in Apocalypse. People ran him back then.
He was good
Still
in 7th.
good now.
Anyone who allowed him in 7th. Remember, he flew around, dumped him. He summoned a unit of horrors. Then he shot his big cannon that made a unit of horrors. So this dude just flew around the table, made 2 units a turn, bro. In 7th edition.
His staff is still good. 2d6, strength 9, neg 4 AP, D3 damage. It can be fired within 100 unit. If they have at least 10. If a unit is at least 10 infantry has been slain, you get 3 Flamers of Tzeentch added to your army. So good. He gets plus one.
But you gotta, I mean, that's reinforcement points, though. You gotta pay for that.
Yeah, I mean, sure. But you would probably have.
I'll tell you what, Kelsey was not paying for that. He didn't care.
Yeah, that's true. In his list, he doesn't care. He has a 4 up invulnerable. He gets +1 invulnerable.
3 up and vulnerable out the gate. He's amazing. We did a great, like, if you guys want to know more about how, so Kelsey is directly responsible for 2 of the things on this list from,
without a doubt.
And because he got Battle Master, aka Best General. He also was second to 1, which means the only game he lost was the final game against Alex Gagno. So he literally was second place, had the most battle points. And he ran Super Chicken and 13 Monolithic Lords. If you want to hear more about his journey to success, definitely listen to the last episode of our podcast where we have a nice 20-minute interview with Kelsey Haley, the greatest 40K player ever.
Ever.
I was letting you come in and do that.
It's like you know me. All right, well, let's take a quick break, come back, and talk some Death Guard.
ElrixHobbies.com is your exclusive portal to upgrading your hobby. When you sign up at thelongwar.net, you gain an instant promotional discount good for 10% off at Elrix Hobbies. ElrixHobbies.com.
Dear veterans, quickly! Make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at secretweaponsminiatures.com have rewarded us all with an extra 10% discount on all Secret Weapon Miniatures merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
Veterans, I've got news for you. Get your best deals online at dicehead.com. Longwar Vets, call or email for your best vet deals. That's dicehead.com.
All right, and we're back. It's Nurgle time. Nurgle looks so happy. Why would we not play Nurgle? Those guys.
Nurgle is happy, bro. Like, that's the big thing. That's what I love about Chaos, man. Like, it's all just a political difference of opinion, chaos. You know what I mean? Like, it's well, that's what makes, like, you know, not fucking around. That's what makes the game so. Ever since the Horus Heresy novels, especially, man, wow, they've really fleshed this world out. And it's really blurred the lines between Chaos and the Imperium a lot more.
Heresy.
Listen to this guy. You being a space wolf for life. I've seen you actually. You own a wolf tooth necklace.
Space wolves are loyalists.
You own a T-shirt that says 33% of the time, or 66% of the time it works every time. Wolf tooth necklace.
By the way, I found the best T-shirt. I found the 3-wolf moon that is on a field of the American flag. It literally can't get better than that.
That's the best shirt ever made.
When the new Space Wolf Codex comes out, I'm getting that shirt. I will be unstoppable.
I would literally be unstoppable. Not figuratively.
I love it when people look at you when you're wearing your 3 wolves shirt and they're like, "Oh, that's fun. That's funny." You're like,
they
what?
think I'm wearing it ironically. It's
like,
one of my favorite shirts.
You're like, "This is my jam right here." Even you have to admit, like, Burning the Prospero, man, you were like, "Damn," you know what I mean? Like, it really blurred the lines.
That is true. Yeah.
It really blurred the lines. And so, like, that's where we're at. And it's like, so, you know, like, Nurgle himself is revered, you know, is the father figure. Like, he's jovial. Like, he's almost like this fucked up version of Buddha where he thinks all life is the same. So he doesn't see himself, you know, even though he's the Lord of Death and Decay, which is a natural force. You know what I mean? Like, and he values, like, the maggots and the flies as much as the people. Like, so but it's obviously twisted and horrible from our fucking perspective.
I mean, yeah.
But like, you look at these, you know, you look at these dudes and they, like, literally have smiles on them, bro. Like, even their fucking stomach mouths just smiling.
I mean, if you need any proof of how fun and exciting it is to be Nurgle and Chaos, look at all the little Nurglians dancing around Mortarion's base. Like, they are just having a little party down there, just kicking it. You got little Nurgle dark flies flying around, holding up his chains, you know.
Oh man, it's
loving it.
The Lord of Death and Decay, Angel of Death. So Death Guard is out, right? And we actually prepared a little top 5 list.
What is it with top 5s? Is that like a thing? Is it a thing for the internet?
It's kind of a thing. And so the thing was, we weren't gonna talk about it, but then, like, we started talking about it and we're like, whoa, there's some fucking dope shit in here. So I mean, some pretty interesting stuff, some pretty interesting shit. And so, like, this is no particular order, but I want to caveat this whole thing with, like, so I think Death Guard are going to be really strong if they can utilize their stratagems, if they can utilize their command points. If you have enough command points to make this work, I think things like Outrider detachments, Vanguard detachments, and Spirit detachments, and if you can possibly sneak a brigade in there, I think these are going to be really strong for Death Guard. They have a lot of great combos. So I think just to start this off, we should cover the new 6 stratagems one last time before we start breaking the units down.
Let me look at this and try to pick out which ones they are, because they're word. Okay, so it's definitely Nurgle's Rot. Select a friendly Death Guard character and roll a d6 for every unit within 7 of them. This is during the shooting phase. On a 4-up, the unit being rolled for suffers d3 mortal wounds. It does not affect Nurgle keywords. That's 3 command points, but it's pretty powerful.
Yeah. No, literally, it's a bubble of smite. That's crazy good.
So it's Death Guard character, which Mortarion is a Death Guard character. So you could pop it on Mortarion during the shooting phase. And remember, he has his own version of this that goes off every turn in the fight phase. So you could double dip if you got the
so literally, depending on where you put the guy, it's like having 13 Malefic Lords.
Yeah, good analogy. Putrid Detonation is the one where a Death Guard vehicle explodes. Do not roll a dice. That vehicle automatically explodes, and we all know how that can go depending on the vehicle. Some of them do a flat 1, but the juicy ones do more than that. So that's where you want to use your reroll and get that high, get that whammy, or not whammy, no whammy. Let's see, Cloud of Flies. That is a stratagem that targets Death Guard infantry for 1 command point. Until the start of your next movement phase, enemy models can only shoot this unit if it's the closest visible target. So it kind of turns it into a character status without the keyword. Grandfather's Blessings, I think, was a port over, but worth mentioning. For 2 command points, select a Death Guard infantry. 1 model in that unit regens D3 lost wounds. If there are no wounded models, you get a whole single model back that was slain earlier in the battle to the unit. That could come into play with some stuff we talked about in the webcast, of course.
Okay, what's the name of that one?
That is Grandfather's Blessings.
Which is a great one. How many command points?
2.
Okay. Grab a great stack already. I mean, this is great context for some of these combos we're about to just very non-competitively discuss.
The Dead Walk Again. That's where you can extend out the ability to Poxwalkers to add to their unit to 7 inches. Each time infantry model other than a Poxwalker, friend or foe, is slain within 7, add a model to the unit. Normally it's ones they're in combat with, I believe. Plague Pact.
Wait, so what? So that command point also brings the unit back, or brings the model back?
So you pop this off until the beginning of your next movement phase. Each time an infantry model other than a Poxwalker, friend or foe, is slain within 7. This is always on a unit of Poxwalkers. Add 1 model back to the Poxwalker unit. Add 1 model. So I guess it can go above starting point.
Yeah, so you're making zombies.
Yep. Blight Bombardment. Just before a friendly death unit shoots or fires Overwatch, when resolving that unit shots, every model that is equipped with a Blight Grenade can throw one instead of only 1 model in the entire unit being able to do so. And you're about to see some grenade manipulation here that we're going to talk about here shortly as well. I think that's all the new ones, and then they got ports over.
So wait, that one lets you shoot another grenade. What does it do?
In Overwatch, when resolving unit shots, every model in the unit that is equipped with a Blight Grenade can throw one.
Sick. Cool.
Instead of just 1 model.
So the rest of them are pretty much Chaos Standard.
They're standard port overs.
So we basically looked at the book, and there's a lot of great stuff, and it's clear that Death Guard is very combo centric, very Age of Sigmar-y, and you have a lot of single models doing really interesting things for your army. And in no particular order, Rob, hit us with one of the units.
All right, I'm literally just going to go in order that I hit them.
Okay.
Let's see. So first off,
I wrote them all down if you want me to do it.
No, I got it. I'm just flipping through. There's 33 units in here. It's not a small book. It's definitely a decent sized book. Okay, I think this is one we're going to talk about. The Foul Blight Spawn, which I don't remember. I thought I saw a picture of this guy. I don't know who he is. I'll have to go back and check all the pictures we've been posting up. Interesting character, 77 points, I believe it is, armed with weapons, Plague Flare, Blight Grenades, and Crack Grenades, which are free. 5-inch movement, which is interesting for Nurgle. 3-up, ballistic skill and weapon skill, strength 4, toughness 5, 4 wounds.
Yeah, see, almost all that shit doesn't mean shit. Dude has feel no pain, 3 up, 7, 4 wounds.
Yeah,
so
pretty much. Okay,
so there you go. We're not talking about hurting anybody with this guy. He does some amazing shit for the army.
All right, so also has disgustingly resilient. Side note: Unholy Death's Head. Each foul blight spawn carries a single unholy Death's Head grenade. Once per battle, this model or another friendly Death Guard character within 3 can throw the Death's Head grenade instead of either a blight grenade or hyper blight grenade. When they do, change that weapon's type to grenade 2d6. So it's still strength 3, but instead of 1d6, it's 2d6.
Yes. And there's obvious stacks there. We already discussed. There's command points that augment grenades.
To let you throw them the whole squad.
One of the best, like one of the best stratagems for chaos is Veteran of the Long War. I use it a lot in my games, and that's literally
+1 to wound.
Add 1 to the wound roll.
Mm-hmm.
So that is really fucking strong. There's a combo right there already. Interesting, with some interesting grenade tactics, adding damage to grenades, adding more grenades, wounding better on grenades. There's the Overwatch grenades. This is literally really interesting combo.
Grenades,
but he has with grenades for days, which is fun augmenting. That's cool. Mid-range fighting, but it's got something even more crazy.
So this is an interesting mechanic that we don't normally see. Enemy units that charge this turn that are within 7 inches of this model, so 14-inch diameter, it might be on a 15 mil base, whatever. In this fight phase, are struck by a stench so foul they falter. Such a unit does not get to fight first in the fight phase, but can be chosen to fight like other units that did not charge. It also affects units who have abilities that would enable them to fight first as if they had charged, aka Slaanesh, I suppose, was one good example. So this is amazing. Cool.
7-inch fucking charge nerf. This guy is amazing. He's also an elite choice. He's a single model. That's one positive check in the make a brigade category or make an outrider or make a vanguard detachment. This dude's an elite. He's 77 points. He has absolute and obvious power in a Death Guard army. This is, like, in my opinion, practically, if you're obsessed with Death Guard, I can't imagine not making an army without this guy right now.
Did I misread that?
What?
Oh, I did misread that. So Blight Bombardment isn't just Overwatch. It's when a unit shoots or fires Overwatch. So they can be chucking grenades all time.
Oh yeah, no, you're gonna be tossing mad grenades. Like, it's so you got grenade stuff, you got Overwatch stuff. A lot of that stuff's not gonna come into play until later in the game. It's a fun, like, you might be out of command points by then, but this guy just innately
turning off assaults. Yeah,
people are gonna have to fuck with this guy, and we've already outlined there's a way to bring wounds back. So this guy's gonna be harder to kill than you want him to be killed. There's also a way to make it so you can't target this guy, like as if he's a character, right? So if this guy's the linchpin, if you're going up against a heavy assault army and you want to make sure all your solid units get to swing first, you got command points up these sleeves to make this happen. And that means they have to set their charges up over 7 inches to avoid this guy's bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also a good thing. That means the dudes are failing more charges than they want to. So love this guy, Blight Spawn, for the win.
And right up the same alleyway is the Biologist Putrefier, which has pretty much the same stat line. He has an interesting pistol that may or may not come into play. Strength 4, -1 AP, D6 damage, but it's only 3-inch range. Now, what makes him cool is he's got the Blight Racks, which increase the strength and damage characteristic of all Blight grenades by 1. So now they're going to be
in 7-inch bubble, I assume.
Within 3
inches. So you've got another grenade augmenter.
Which also, in addition to that, while a unit is within 3, each wound roll of 6 made when attacking with a Blight grenade inflicts a mortal wound as well.
So you can already see the foundations of a tiny little group of dudes buried inside of a group of dudes. You playing the right command points, getting the right bubbles off, and just going to town. There's command points for grenades. There's Veteran of the Long War. There's this guy's ability to add strength and damage. There's this other dude to make it 2d6 plague. So now you're back up to strength 4. 6 is doing mortal wounds, adding 1 to the strength. There's literally 2 amazing buffs right here. And is this guy also an elite choice?
He is.
Ooh, look at that. There's another potential Vanguard or Brigade element.
Next up is the Plague Surgeon, one of my faves. I think we're going to see a decent amount of him. Decent stat line. Again, he's a character, so he has 4 wounds, toughness 5, etc.
But are they all these guys characters or just him?
Yeah, these guys are all characters.
So they're all characters innately, so you can't just target them. Oh, sick.
Correct. He's your Nurgle Apothecary. So he has a Tainted Narthecium. You may reroll disgustingly resilient ones or rolls of 1 for friendly Death Guard infantry within 3 inches of this model.
Amazing.
It's super good, especially when you start comboing some of the other abilities we're about to see with cover. Gene Seed Thief, all 1 to hit and wound rolls made for this model in fight phase when targeting. Oh, that's fine. He just gets a buff when he's fighting against Astartes infantry.
Yeah, I don't care. Like these guys are not. Yeah, none of this shit matters. It's all about what they do.
It's the Narthecium ability that really makes him good. Those other the Putrefier 75 points. The Blight.
Does he also let somebody come back to life?
No, he just adds.
So he instead of doing what apothecaries do, he just gives you disgusting resilient buff
to infantry.
100% required in your army.
I think so.
100% required because that also stacks with bringing dudes back to life and bringing wounds back. So now you have a re-rolled disgusting resilience layer, bringing D3 wounds back or whole models back. You have a dudes can't charge me very easy. Like this is getting really good, really fast.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Do we want to talk about the Tallyman with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the Tallyman has the Zealot rule. And we all know where this is going. So he can reroll failed hit rolls in the fight phase for friendly Death Guard within 7 of this model. So yeah, that's a good one.
He also doesn't he have something else that's amazing?
Oh, you can get command points back.
There it is.
Spend 1. 2d6.
So this is kind of the linchpin. So how do you get a command point back with this guy?
Each time you spend a command point to use a stratagem, roll 2d6. If the result is 7, Nurgle gives you back.
But so not 7 or higher, but 7.
Oh, excuse me. If the result is 7, the command points spent to use that stratagem are immediately refunded. So you could get the full amount back.
But you can't, but it's not 7
No,
or
it's
higher.
just straight 7.
So yeah, so it's pretty awesome. It's gonna happen all the time. It's a pretty common roll on 2 dice. So this guy, in my opinion, pretty solid, giving you a bubble of rerolling attacks in close combat and giving you potential to get your stratagems back. Some of these are 2, some of these are 3-point command points. This guy's another amazing unit, like for creating this amazing potential Death Guard, Death Star, huge just group of dudes coming across the table fucking you up, man. I love this dude.
Yeah, he is no joke. Unfortunately, we would like to say good things about the Death Shroud Terminators, but I feel like you can check the webcast for that. We kind of go into depth on that.
Like with all of this, yes, any unit's pretty good with all of these buffs, but they're not the best point efficiency. Did we cover the Blight Hauler?
That's next. The Blight Hauler, movement 10. It's a light vehicle, toughness 7, 8 wounds, 3 up save. Has an interesting ability in and of itself. It also is disgusting and resilient. It has a fog ability that allows friendly Death Guard infantry within 7 to gain the benefit of cover when making armor saves. So right there,
that gets annoying really fast. Like I'll tell you what, man. Like even though cover is not what it used to be, when you combine it with re-rolling 1s on disgusting resilience, when you combine it with I can't charge you the way I want to charge you, all of a sudden, and then you combine it with getting models back and wounds back. Every time you're like, yo, this is -2 rend, you know, I'm killing dudes on 5s. No, you're killing them on 4s, and then I get a 5 rerolling 1s. And then every dude I lose, I get a guy back every turn with a command point or D3 wounds back. This gets really obnoxious really fucking fast. This is another, and this is fast attack. So
this is fast attack. You can take squads of 3. They're 85 points each. They have a little bit of resiliency themselves. Again, they're
a tank, but they also have a gun.
Yeah, they have a gun. They're demons, so they're 5 up and vulnerable. Does not suffer the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons. Enemy units must subtract 1 to hit rolls that target this unit in the fight phase, so only in the fight phase. And all 1 to hit rolls made for this unit, add 1 to all hit rolls if you have 3 models. So if you're maxing out at like 85 times 3, you're good to go. The gun, you can have a multi-melter, which is, you know, multi-melters are good. They can do the Lord's work if they get through on something, and generally they do at neg 4 AP. That's kind of cool. Or you could have, or it does come with a missile launcher as well. I think we all know how good that is. In the crack formation, it's strength 8, neg 2 AP, D6 damage. The Bile Spurt is a D3 assault weapon, strength 6, neg 1 AP, D1 damage, but plague weapon. And its melee attack is strength of user, which is 6, neg 2 AP, 1 damage, plague weapon. So lots of resiliency for 85 points.
No, I like it. So what I'm preaching here is you have a bunch of characters that are all under 100 points, and then Mortarion, and then you have to fill out your roster. That's what I'm saying. Is you probably want a battalion with big blocks of plague bearers. Get those command points. You probably want to build a Vanguard detachment to snag up some of these units, right? Get some more command points. Then maybe a Supreme Command, which also unlocks elites and more HQs, and that's where you get Mortarion from. And I think you could have some big blocks of troops that are fucking obnoxious. I think you can come across the table with a really strong unit of maybe Terminators or something. Not Terminators. I fucking hate Terminators, but like you could maybe just Death Guard Marines. With, you know, I don't even fucking know. There's gonna be combos here. I don't have the book in hand. I'm not in my Beats lab, but I know if you just read me the special rules that Rob just read, and you said these are available to your army, how do you feel about it? I'm like, I feel like I can make a lot of things work. I feel like with the command points, possibly getting them back, with how strong some of these mortal wound things are, how resilient models can be, I really think you can win games with this. Like that's the important thing.
I think you're meaning for plague bearers, you're meaning put them in their own squads, so you don't have to dark ritual them in, right?
Correct.
Put them in a demon detachment.
Just there's no such thing as chaos. Like literally, it's chaos keyword. That doesn't matter. Like,
right.
You can do anything you want. Like I will literally take a chaos sorcerer.
Oh yeah, you could put it in there because you don't even care at that point for chaos.
I will put his ass on a bike so he can go 20 inches, and then I will take a Malefic Lord, and I'll take 3 units of Plague Bearers. That is a battalion that's 3 command points that unlocks a psychic power that I really want called Death Hex, and another one I really want called Warp Time.
Yep.
Right.
Bouncing all around.
Then I would take a Vanguard detachment, take these three of these dudes who are elites, take the fast unit of this the hauler, take some troops if I need them, another HQ if I want it. Then I would do a Supreme Command, unlock Mortarion, the last elite dude I want from this list, and 3 more fucking HQs if I need them. Like more sorcerers. I would definitely get a Pocket Lord for the rerolls. Like this is just me without a codex and me just thinking like I would have a shitload of command points, tons of fucking tools, maybe 60 bodies on the table that are just hard to deal with, and some elite elements. I don't know. Like I have to look at it, I have to think about it, but I know that turn 1 you're going to get charged by Mortarion, and I'm going to have this horde of dudes advancing on you that are throwing a billion grenades at you, shooting you, rerolling this, rerolling that, getting dudes back. Mortarion's going to get in your face. He's going to do like shitloads of mortal wounds before he even kills the unit. Like it's going to be interesting.
There's a ton of overlapping abilities, I think, that are everyone can agree are super strong. It's just what's going to be the competitive format, to come out of this. But, a lot of people out there, they're already picking up Death Guard, it was in the starter or whatever. So sometimes it isn't about competitive. It's just about, hey, I'm going to hobby this now. I got all my stuff from Dark Imperium. Yo, let me get Mortarion. Yo, let me get some of these new units.
Oh yeah. And let me also go clear here too. Let's see some people in the chat. So you cannot have a Chaos Space Marine detachment or a Death Guard detachment if any element in that detachment doesn't have the keyword Death Guard. I am not interested in Demonic Ritual, therefore, but I do want Plague Bearers.
Yeah, you want to set them up on the table
because they are one of the best troops in the game. Because they have a 5 up invulnerable and they have disgusting resilience. And also if they have 20 models, you're -1 to hit, or it's over 10, right? Or is it over 20?
It's 20 or more. You can have 30.
So you can have 3 squads to 25. You've unlocked a battalion. Basically what I'm saying by that is I've unlocked 3 command points from my army. I was going to take an Index Chaos Space Marine anyway, so I can get the Hereticus powers. And I'll probably take a Malefic Lord. Boom. Something I wanted anyway. Boom. I got 3 command points. Now I will make a Death Guard detachment, starting probably with Vanguard detachment, and then a Supreme Command Death Guard detachment.
And the reason you're doing that is because if you don't take a Death Guard detachment, then none of that Death Guard stuff, it's no longer Death Guard. It doesn't affect each other because you're not a Death Guard detachment. So you have to put them in their own box. The demons go in their own box, but they can go in any box. They're just not going to be.
Demons don't need any help from anybody. They're literally -1 to hit these fools. Because that's
disgustingly resilient.
Yeah. So anytime. So what's the math on a 5 up, 5 up? Like if someone just does 1 damage, like someone's trying to spam like some minus, like a plasma gun, for example. Plasma gun not overheating is like -4 AP, 1 damage.
It's basically 75% save.
Like you have a 5 up, 5 up, dude. Get out of here.
2/3 times 2/3 is 4, 6. So it's 75%.
Like you're better than a 3 up save suddenly. So that is really fucking strong. And then if they are -1 to hit you, it gets even better. Like I'm taking those guys no matter what. Like this is like just some basic combos. And then like obviously you go to your Vanguard attachment, you just figure out how to use those like elite elements to some other element in your army to make it maximized. Plague Bearers are cheap as shit too.
So you can't, I think people are confused in chat. You don't put the demons in the Death Guard box because then you are no longer Battleforged detachment Death Guard. You do not get the abilities for Death Guard like the stratagems and stuff. You no longer become a Death Guard army. You want to keep them separate.
They have to be in a ritual. You have to have
and the ritual is stupid.
You have to have demonic. Yeah, well, they're not stupid. It's just that
it's situational. I would rather have.
I use it all the time. The problem is if you need a battalion at least to get those 3 extra command points, right? So I'm not going to take reserve points and then a demonic ritual. I'm going to just take a non-Death Guard battalion, then a Death Guard detachment and a Death Guard detachment match play. My army is comprised of multiple detachments. 2 of them are Death Guard. 1 of them is not. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, it's smart. And the cool thing about wherever you put the Plague Bearers, it doesn't matter because now it's a chaos detachment. So you can throw in that Forge World stuff. You can throw in sorcerer or whatever you're talking about, whatever else you want to put in that box. It doesn't even matter because your whole point is to keep the Death Guard separate, to have all these dope abilities and stratagems and warlord traits and tactics and things. So that's the whole point of that. So you just have to be careful with the detachments, like where you put things. Everything is a detachment now. Everything. So you have to you just have to be very careful where you place your things. So the point to Games Workshop putting Plague Bearers and Nurglings in the book is the same as the point of them putting in the Chaos book. They expect you to bring them in via Dark Ritual. Therefore, they do not count against you being a Death Guard detachment. But you can always take these demons as a separate detachment so that your Death Guard stays intact and you have all those abilities. That's all. Very easy stuff. So I think we kind of nailed that one, right? As far as tactics and
we did. It's
competitive things.
I just want to say to the audience, if you guys have any questions on any of these intricacies, definitely hit us up on our Facebook page. Hit me up on my Facebook page. I see a lot of questions in chat over some of these things. No big deal. Look at the Long War Facebook page. We've got the Long War Network Facebook group.
Or popping on, live on
Spiky Bits Hobbies, Next Level Painting. You got Rob Beasy, got Kenny Beasy, you got Mike Hizzy, got all these Facebook pizzles.
Mike Hizzy.
Speaking of that, I got to pimp myself a little bit. A week from tomorrow, I'm going to be at Salt Lake City Comic-Con. Starting on Thursday, I'm going to be on some panels there, and I will be signing at the Shadow Mountain booth Friday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. So come say hi if you're at Salt Lake City Comic-Con.
No doubt. All right, Haspel, take us out.
A young Jedi named J.J. Abrams, who was a pupil of mine until he turned to the evil, helped the Empire hunt down and destroy the Jedi Knights. He betrayed and murdered your father. Dead to me.